Joyriding in the Jeep Gladiator. When I go joyriding, I always choose the Jeep Gladiator. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Automotive JT. Real quick, if you haven't before, smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. That's right, when I decide to go joyriding, which is pretty frequently because you see, I love to drive. You know, just short little trips, maybe 15, 20 minutes, something like that, kind of cruising around the area, maybe a little freeway driving. I'd do a little off-roading if there was anywhere to off-road, because I do like doing that as well. You know, there was a time, years ago, in my youth, way back, yeah, a couple years ago, that I did do, I wouldn't say tons of off-roading, but a little bit of off-roading, and it was always fun, always enjoyed it. But strangely, what I've found here in South Texas, of all places, there isn't much off-roading available unless you know someone that has some land or want to drive for hours to one of, I think, the only 4x4 off-road parks that there are in my area. Otherwise, there's just really no opportunity unless you want to, you know, run into a landowner that doesn't really want you tearing up their field. But there's not a lot of places to go, and I'm very surprised. I would have thought, as you saw in the clip in the beginning, a lot of open land here, but most of it is farmland, and, you know, farmers don't take too kindly to you tearing up their freshly planted fields, you know, so not a good idea unless you know that person and they have given you permission to go kick around on their land. But anyway, when I do go joyriding, I always, it seems, pick the Jeep Gladiator, and it's because it's such a fun vehicle to drive. You know, it's comfortable inside, the ride is nice, doesn't throw me all over the place like some trucks I've had in the past do. You know, I made a mistake on my 2020 Tacoma. I put a rather substantial lift on it as far as ride goes. It stiffened everything up, would have made it probably really good for off-roading, but for pavement crawling like I'm doing right now, I just kind of beat you up a bit. You know, you really hit the bumps when you went across a railroad track. You know, you would really throw you around there, and it just wasn't a comfortable ride when you're looking to just get out and cruise around a bit and enjoy the seat time, which is what I'm doing right now. Power-wise, you know, it's fun to zip around in. You know, I like a zippy ride. I like acceleration. It's my favorite thing about driving. You know, when I get on the gas, I want to go. I don't want any lag. I want to move, and I want to move the way I want to move. You know, one of my quests, I guess, in the many vehicles I've had, and I've had a lot in my lifetime, is to try to find a vehicle where you kind of feel one with it. You know, kind of like when you crawl out of that recliner and go walk around or do whatever it is you do. You know, it just happens. It's a natural thing. You just move, there's no effort in it, and you just do your thing. And that's always been what I've looked for in a vehicle, is the same kind of feeling that when I hit the gas, it goes at the rate that I expect it to do. Of course, a personal thing. We're all different when it comes to that. And it's funny because in thinking about the Tacoma once again, you know, there's so many different opinions out there as to how its power is. Some people actually think it's adequate as stock, which I completely disagree with. It has a built-in lag, something that is very minimal in the Jeep Gladiator. But the Tacoma has a built-in lag, and I actually put a sprint booster on that truck. I have one on the Jeep Gladiator as well, but the Gladiator is just so much more responsive than the Tacoma is out of the box. Once you put the sprint booster on the Tacoma, completely changes the truck. That's something that, in my opinion, every Tacoma should have. Now, I mentioned I do have the Sprint booster on the Gladiator. What it does for the Gladiator is just give you a little bit quicker off the line, I guess, because again, the Jeep Gladiator doesn't have a ton of lag in it anyway, but it still makes it just that much more fun to drive. Now, sound-wise, that's the other thing that I really enjoy when I'm out kicking around, when I don't have the tunes playing on the radio, you know, my 80s hits. I like to hear the truck. And I had gone back and forth with this Gladiator, thinking I might put a different exhaust on it, an aftermarket exhaust. But before I did that, I wanted to try something else. And of course, that was the air rate cold air intake. You guys can probably hear a little grumble in the background as I'm driving around. And it's music to the ears without having to turn the radio on. I really like that. I like to be able to hear the truck get up and go as I'm taking off from stop signs and stoplights. And the good thing about the air raid cold air intake is you don't really have to get on it, you know? Just normal driving will give you that satisfaction. If you're into that, you're looking for it, as far as sound goes. So when I'm out joyriding, and like I said, I do this quite frequently, I always seem to choose the Gladiator. And if you didn't know, if you're not familiar with the channel, and I don't know why you wouldn't be. I mean, I think everybody should watch, but if you're not familiar with me or the channels, I do have two other vehicles. I do have that Tacoma. It's a 2021. And a Ram 1500. And by the way, speaking of the Ram, as comparing it to the Jeep Gladiator, the Ram is awesome. It's the 5.7 liter Hemi. It's fast, it's quick, doesn't really need anything else. I mean, it gets up and goes, but it's big. It's a big truck. It's not as maneuverable when it comes to city driving and tighter spaces, and it's thirsty. Although, I will say, if there's one thing to knock about joyriding in the Jeep Gladiator, it's probably the fuel economy. I'll tell you guys right now the real numbers: 15.4 miles per gallon. Now, that's not hugely better than my Ram 1500. Matter of fact, in a video on my other channel, Rob Motive FST, in talking about the Ram, I think it might actually equal or beat out the Jeep Gladiator once it breaks in. It's getting 14.6, something like that right now. So I'm not hugely better cruising around in the Jeep Gladiator. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here, kind of talk to you guys while I'm out. Love the sound. While I'm out cruising around, the Jeep Gladiator is my vehicle of choice for joyriding. Leave a comment. Let me know. If you've got multiple vehicles, do you find that typically you choose the Jeep Gladiator when you're just out cruising around, or maybe running errands around town where you don't really need a truck? I'd be curious to know. Again, if you didn't in the beginning, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I do have two additional channels: Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive FST, all about full-size trucks. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.